Hi everyone, I'm Mary Ellen Vanderventer, your Lake County Recorder. For over 20 years now, it has been my pleasure to present our cable show, Doing Good Deeds for You. The response from these informative shows has been wonderful, and we are delighted to have answered so many of your questions over the years. I've often said that the Recorder's Office is the best kept secret around, and the goal of our television program is to make you aware of just what we do in our office and how we are always available to help you. Since 1844, the Recorder's Office has recorded nearly 7.5 million documents, all related to real estate sales and property transactions. These documents are recorded by any person, corporation, or government agency wishing to keep a permanent public record of a transaction. We've also had whimsical recordings, such as old report cards and marriage vows. Every recording represents an important event in people's lives. Through our library of documents, we can help you find early owners of your property, uncover facts about your neighborhood, research family history through land purchases, learn more about your ancestry, and more. On today's show, we thought we would share with you as many questions as we possibly can, with the answers, of course. Listen closely, and hopefully we will touch on a subject of interest to you. Joining me today is our Chief Deputy, Cynthia Horan. She's a wealth of knowledge. So let's get started. Okay, here we go with our rapid fire questions. Cynthia, you ready?
I am ready.
These are the ones that we think really are the most asked when people call or stop by our office. So here we go. Does our office have birth, marriage, and death certificates?
We do not. Actually, that's the county clerk's office located on the first floor.
I thought you were just going to say no and then just leave it at that. Can I get documents notarized in the Recorder's Office?
You can. Always be sure to bring a picture ID and one of our staff will notarize documents.
And you know, we should also say there's no charge for that.
Correct.
It's just a benefit that we offer, and there's always somebody here who can notarize documents.
Absolutely.
This is a big one. Do we have a list or a book on foreclosures?
We don't. Foreclosure-related documents are filed or recorded here in office, but we do not keep a running list.
Because we really do get that a lot.
We do.
Different people want to see different things, or even the dollar amount of homes and stuff, but we do not have that. Do we handle paperwork to incorporate a business?
We do not. I feel like we're answering a lot of we do not questions, but no, we do not. You can actually go to the Secretary of State to handle that information.
Okay, there you go. So how far back do the records go in our office? And I guess, can anybody come in at any time and look through the books or the computers even?
1844. Our documents go back to 1844. It's amazing. And yes, you can come in. Our office is open 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and come look at the beautiful books. And you always like to tell, what was the first recorded?
The first recording was up in Newport Township. It was 1 acre of land for $1.25. So, and then from then on, there you go. You can look, and we have all kinds of other books. We have, what do they call them? Chattel mortgages and all kinds of old, beautiful, beautiful handwritten ledgers. And so it is fun to come in. You do not need an appointment. There's no charge to look through our books, and it's really kind of a fun little...
It is. It is like going back in time, and you see the beautiful handwriting, and our staff is amazing. Not only can they use the updated technology, but they love going through those old books too.
So how can I find a list of the fees or the charges to record a document, or maybe even to get a copy of a document?
You can always call our office and ask a quick question, but everything is on our website, and I'm sure they're going to be showing the website information here. You can Google Lake County Recorder of Deeds, but we do have a complete list of our charges there, and we can email you a copy as well.
And you can also call our office. If you know you have a document that's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 pages, if you want to call ahead of time, you certainly can. And actually, we should say we take cash, check, credit card. Some of the businesses have charge accounts, but you can always get it recorded, and you can always find the fee somewhere. This is really important, I think. We have a lot of staff who also speak Spanish.
Yes, we do.
And we're really proud of that. And somebody's here really 8:30 to 5 every single day.
Yep.
So if that's a concern or an issue, please come in. We are happy to help you.
And that's whether you're calling on the phone or
True.
whether you're coming into the office.
Okay, so what paperwork should people have if they own their home or if they live in their own home? What should they have in their safe deposit box?
When you go to your closing, if you have an attorney or not, you will receive a copy of all the paperwork that you sign at that closing. Your original deed will get sent into our office and recorded, and then a copy will be sent back to either you or your attorney. But you should always keep a copy of that deed with your paperwork, because unlike a car, when you buy a car, you don't get a copy of that title until it's paid off. With your home, you get a copy of your deed the day you close on it. So keep that with your important paperwork. And if you don't have it, you can call or email us and we can get you a copy, because you do want to keep that with your paperwork so you're not scrambling at the last minute.
Right, and there should also be we call it a chain of the events that happened with you. So not only is it the deed, but you should have a copy of your mortgage. And then a copy of your release if you've been lucky enough to pay it off. So all of that is here, and we can get all of that for you. And if you're a senior, there's no charge for copies.
Something else I think a lot of people don't think to keep is usually at a closing that you will have a survey of your property. That does not get recorded. So if all of a sudden you want to put a pool in or you want to put a fence in, and your village or your township requires that you submit a survey, you should keep that with your documents from when you close on your house. That way you have it there and you're not searching for it when the time comes for you to make some changes.
That's great. So if you are going to sell your home, must you have the original deed to go?
No, you don't need the original. You can always get a copy. If a certified copy is required, you can get that here, but you don't have to have the original.
So here's a question that we get all the time. If you have been lucky enough to pay off your home, how do you get the paperwork that says, I've paid off my home?
Well, when that wonderful day comes and you pay off your home, your lender should provide you a copy of that payoff letter, or that, there's many different names. What you want to do within a few weeks of paying that off is you want to check with our office and see if they recorded that payoff here in our office. And if not, and if you receive the copy, you should get it to us to have it recorded. Because if that is not recorded here in our office, that mortgage payoff, then it will show that your property is still encumbered or tied up with a mortgage.
Right.
So, again, the short answer is your lender should give that to you. If they don't, check with us to see if they sent it here. And if not, hunt them down and make sure they give you a copy so you can have it recorded.
And we have lots of phone numbers to reach banks, because a lot of times you've bought your home 30 years ago and that bank may not even be around anymore. Right. So we can follow up on that for you as well. Yep. But you should have all that.
You should.
Okay. We get this a lot too. The homes that are selling in the neighborhoods. If somebody like my mother wants to know how much a house sold for, are we the ones that they find that out from?
You know, the easy answer is not really. I guess that's the easy answer. Obviously, a deed gets recorded here, and when you record a deed, there's also information, a property tax form, and those will list the amounts, but it's really some hunting and pecking that takes to get the actual amount. You know, there are other sites that you can go on. I know a lot of people go on Zillow.
Right.
Short answer, yeah, you can kind of get it from our office. It's not something that we really like to call and say, when people call and say, yes, sure, it's sold for $125,000.
Yeah. Or maybe the realtor sign is still in the yard, and you could call them as well.
So with some hunting and pecking, you can find it, but it's not. We shouldn't be your first place to look when you're looking for that information.
Right. Okay. So, and we also get this a lot. Sadly, some of these calls are kind of hard to deal with. This one is, if a spouse passes away, do they need, if they want to continue living in the home, do they need to redo that paperwork?
You know, it depends on how they took title or how they took ownership in the property.
In the first place.
In the first place. So when you first brought your property together, there was a certain way you could have taken title. You could have, one of you could have owned it, both of you could have owned it together. It could have been in the information that it would pass right along to your spouse. So you need to look at your deed and check with your attorney. You know, it's always a good idea when that sad day comes to make sure that that property is in your name, whether you had a trust or whether you had paperwork recorded ahead of time. But take a moment, make sure that when things settle down, the property is in your name, whether you have to come in and ask us or whether you have to check with your attorney.
And we should also say that, you know, a majority of our staff have been here a really, really long time. And they will answer your question right up to the point that they just can't anymore. And you really do need to seek legal advice. So we're happy to get you as close as we possibly can. We can provide you with the old deed. So if there's something your attorney would need to change, that would all be there. But we hate to say, you need to talk to a lawyer.
And I was just going to go down that road because we do try very hard to answer every question we can, but we cannot give legal advice. And as hard as it is to hear, you should check with an attorney. We never want people to go and record something or lose a property or do something that wasn't correct. And so if we say you should check with an attorney, it's not because we don't want to answer your question. It's because we really are trying to look out for your best benefit.
Right, exactly, exactly. And we have lots of tools now that deal with property, and one of them is called Property Check. It's a great tool, and it's being used by thousands of people now in Lake County. So if you want to give a little, toot our horn a little bit about Property Check.
Unfortunately, the reason we have Property Check is because identity theft and mortgage fraud are pretty prevalent across the United States and the entire world. Property Check is put into place. It's a free service. It works 24/7. You enter the information on the website. You enter your name, your property information, the owner of your property. That way, if any document is recorded against you or your property, you will receive a notification saying, call our office, did you record something? What that does is it alerts you to the fact that something was recorded, and you need to know if it's something you did, your lawyer did, or was someone trying to use your identity and changing the ownership of your house. So again, I can't stress enough that it's free to use. It works 24/7, and that it's in your best benefit to know if something's recorded against you as soon as it happens so that you can take action right away.
And you know what's funny is oftentimes people will call or they will get a text from us or an email from us, and they can't remember that they made a change.
Yes.
But they may have made a change a couple months ago, maybe put the property in trust or added their children to the deed. So people do read, and they do listen, and they do call us to be darn sure that it wasn't the bad guy who did something.
And a lot of times a spouse will go ahead and set up the account, and then the other spouse is wondering what happened. So we're happy to answer any phone calls, but please sign up, go to our website. Property Check is the name of the application. Fill it out. We can walk you through the information if you're not sure about what to enter. But it's a great idea. It's a great thing that we have to offer. If you're not doing that, the minimum you should do is once or twice a year, call us or come to our office, run your name, run your property information to make sure there are no liens, there's no outstanding mortgages, there's nothing recorded against you that could come up down the line when you try to sell your house.
Exactly. We talk about this all the time. You know, once a year people make a dentist appointment and a doctor's appointment. But to be honest with you, the purchase of your home is probably the biggest investment you've ever made or ever will make. And you really need to do a little due diligence on it. And just call us once a year and be sure that nothing has been filed against your name or your piece of property.
And we always say you would hate to wait for big things to happen, whether it's the death of a family member or a spouse, or even when you're going to sell your home and all of a sudden you go and have a title search done and there are things recorded against you, and now you're under a time frame or under stress and it's hard to clear that up. So come in, talk to our staff, you know, get the information once a year to make sure you're all on target.
So the next one is about some different services and different copies of things. So how do people know about all the services or exemptions for seniors.
Okay, we put together a fabulous senior services brochure, and we update it throughout the year to make sure the information is correct. And it's not just services that we offer in our office, it's services offered throughout the county. Now, we did have a staff member last week come up and say we might want to think about the name of the brochure because we had a senior call looking for ambulatory services. Obviously, we can't list everything in the brochure, but it does list most everything a senior can use throughout the county in regards to their property or where to find information about tax credits or tax exemptions. You can get it in our office. You can get it on our website. We will be happy to walk you through any information or point you in the right direction.
So another category is military families and our veterans. So we have said always that we are the keeper of the military paperwork. All the DD-214s are filed here in our office. So how does somebody get a copy of a military paperwork?
The military paperwork that is kept in our office is not public record because there is such sensitive information in there about our veterans. In order to get a copy of the DD-214, you would either need to be that veteran, to be a dependent of that veteran, to be someone with the Veteran Assistance Council or one of the other veterans organizations. And you would need a photo ID. Or if you're not one of those listed people, and we do have them listed on the form, you would need to have a notarized letter signed and notarized by that veteran authorizing you to get a copy. So it's very difficult to get a copy of those DD-214s because they need to be protected. But this is where you would call, and you can always call and ask what you need to get it.
Right, exactly, exactly. So we're almost done. We just have a couple more that we want to get through. So if we talked about liens a second ago, but if somebody does place a lien on your home, do you know about it? Do you get notified that the contractor put a lien on your home?
You know, not always. It depends on who's putting the lien on your home. There are different levels of, depending on who the contractor or subcontractor and what type of notice they have to give. So the answer is you don't always have to receive notification ahead of time. There are situations you do, and if you do get a lien put against you that you find out about, you need to check with your lawyer and find out if that person followed the right procedure.
Right.
So unfortunately, you may not be notified ahead of time.
Exactly, and that's why you need to call at least once a year.
Or sign up for property check.
Or sign up for property check. So are we the ones who give information on credit reports? Do you get a credit report here from the recorder?
No, and we have so many people who ask about it. And it makes sense why people ask, because if you're filing a lien here or we have mortgages here, people think that this is where they should come looking for a credit report, or that we can take things off their names or take recordings out. This, unfortunately, is not the place, and we can usually direct you to the right company or at least a list of them.
So one more thing about the liens, though. If there is a lien filed, do all my neighbors know about it? Does everybody know?
No. So in order to search records in our office, you would have to come in with a purpose. Really. You come in looking for someone's name, and really if I wanted to find out if Mary Ellen had one, I guess I could really search through the records to find out. But we don't go and just publish information so that everyone is aware of what's going on with their neighbors. And that kind of brings me to another situation.
I was just gonna say,
So we have an online search tool. You can search from the comfort of your own home on your computer our public records, with a caveat. There is a $5 per day. There's some other pay structures as well, but a $5 per day fee to search those online records. Because realistically, even though they're public information, we don't want people using that information for bad or for negative reasons. So we kind of hope that $5 a day dissuades, and the fact that you have to put a credit card in would dissuade someone who's up to no good trying to get personal information off our website.
Right. It gives us a little bit of a chain of knowing who's using our system, and we can track it back to them. But everyone's welcome too.
Yes. So that kind of was twofold. A, you can search property records at home if you can't make it to our office. But B, we kind of use that also as a way to kind of track, if we need to, who is using them, and if something nefarious happened with that information. But we do try as much as we can, whether through property check or through that online search system and through another mailing called a quit claim deed card. We try very hard to make sure that the residents and their information here are protected as much as possible.
So having said all that, and I'll wrap it up with this. If people want to get information, do they have to fill out a Freedom of Information request? We get that a lot because a lot of different departments really do need to have those documents filled out. So a lot of people will fill them out and send them in, and the answer is
no. We are, first of all of our information in our office, minus the DD-214s, are public information. You can call us, you can email us, you can come in and we have copies that we can give you. It's $1 per page, except for senior citizens. We give you deeds for free. But no, it's very easy, and it's
and a lot of times when we do get the request, we will actually call you and say, you know, you don't have to wait the 7 days. You really don't have to do this anymore. We're happy to fill these right away.
Now, that being said, we occasionally get a request for payroll information or employee information. That does require a Freedom of Information. That would not go to our office. But for the general deeds, mortgages, copies of things of that nature, no, just call us. We're happy to get it to you.
And that's how we're going to wrap up today. So how do we contact the recorder's office?
Feel free to call us. One of our amazing staff will always answer the phone. It will not be a computerized answering service.
We're so proud of that.
We are. Feel free to email us. It's simple. We'll answer that as well. We've got a Facebook page where you can follow our updates. We like to put some cute stuff on there too. And the website. You can go through the county government website and search for us, and we're there as well.
Sounds great.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this today. We hope we answered one of your questions along the way. I think we did with the answers. And I'll be back in just a couple of minutes to wrap things up. I want to thank our Chief Deputy, Cynthia Horan, for joining me today. As you can see, the Lake County Recorder's Office is a very busy place. Every day we answer questions about our fees, about liens, foreclosures, plats of survey, military paperwork, any information really that relates to an important event in your life or your property. We are always happy to answer any of your questions or steer you in the right direction. Please visit our website at www.lakecountyil.gov/recorder to find the answers to the questions we heard here today. And remember, we have staff who are fluent in Spanish, so don't be afraid to stop in or call us at 847-377-2575. If you're a senior, please call us for a free copy of our Senior Services brochure. In the brochure, you will find information about senior homestead exemptions, reverse mortgages, soldiers' discharge papers, and information for disabled veterans. I hope you've enjoyed this production of Doing Good Deeds for You. We look forward to talking with you soon.